So unless you don't actually use the internet at all, you have probably seen an advert or 1,000 adverts for a company called Temu. Its bright orange branding, catchy jingle, and just generically awful tagline have been literally everywhere for the past year. So Temu was launched in 2022, and it's another addition to this fast-paced, hyper-competitive e-commerce like middleman world. So you've got other companies like Amazon, AliExpress, Temu, many, many more that you definitely have not heard of that kind of spring up out of nowhere in this field. This one is like dominating all the social media ads. It's got lots of influencer collabs. It sponsors lots of content. Temu is an online e-commerce platform that was launched in July of 2022, and it was slowly rolled out across the Western world throughout that year. It's owned by another very well-established Chinese e-commerce company called Pinduoduo. And that one was founded in 2015 and has apparently made over $400 billion in total online sales. The fact that Pinduoduo has rebranded for the Western market to be Temu is not something that's unusual in China at all, and vice versa as well. Like Western companies going into China often change their names so that it's something that can be pronounced by Chinese speakers. In the West, ByteDance is TikTok, but it's not always just for like social or pronunciation reasons. There are some more litigious reasons why an app might want to rebrand. For example, in the case of Pinduoduo, when they did release an app on the App Store for Western markets, they were quickly identified as having lots of malware in the app. So, why fix the problems with your brand and your app when you can just make an entirely new app specifically aimed at Western consumers? So similarly to Amazon, Alibaba, AliExpress, and other middleman type e-commerce platforms, Temu acts as a host for smaller businesses and retailers to sell their products through the platform. So Temu itself has no stock. Its sole purpose is essentially to host and promote other businesses. So what I didn't realize about the way that Temu hosts other businesses that's a bit different to places like Amazon is that it operates essentially a price war system where different sellers have to outbid each other to sell the same product. In order to keep prices as low as possible, Temu has formulated a series of rules. First of all, Temu requires the seller's supply price to be at least lower than the price of the same product on AliExpress. Secondly, if there are multiple sellers bidding for one product, the platform will only choose the lowest priced one. In addition, Temu has also launched a dynamic sales mechanism. If there are no sales in 14 days, or the sales volume is less than 30 pieces in 30 days, and the sales volume is less than $90, the unsold products will be required to reduce their price or withdraw from supply. Anything with a rating lower than 4.2 will be removed from the shelves immediately. According to sampling results, the price of Temu's single products is more than 30% lower than that of Shein, and the price of some standard products is only half of Amazon. Another way that Temu works to lower the price of some of its goods is by introducing extreme discounts. So when Temu was launched in Japan, they offered a 90% discounts for new customers. So obviously, if you're a manufacturer, that means that you are not going to be able to make a profit on whatever you're selling because your margin is already being squeezed by the fact that you have to offer the lowest price possible compared to other platforms, and you also have to give 90% off. So for these smaller businesses, even though they get the exposure, this method of marketing is eating into their base profits and potentially also their ability to be a sustainable business. This could potentially also have the knock-on effect of forcing manufacturers to make their goods cheaper and cheaper. And this could also have the knock-on effect, obviously, of making manufacturers make their products lower quality in order to make it cheaper for them to make and to produce. There are lots of other reasons why Temu isn't that great of a company. After the whole Xinjiang cotton incident, Temu was one of the companies where it wasn't clear whether or not they had properly vetted their supply chains to make sure that there was no forced labor being used to produce goods on their platform. They've also been accused of not properly investigating intellectual property cases where vendors steal or misuse the IP of other companies without their permission. They've had several run-ins and lawsuits with a competitor, Shein. Also, on their own website, they straight up lie and say that the company was founded in Boston, which is not true. And obviously, there are other things like data concerns, data breaches that have been raised by US watchdogs. Obviously, the US is suspicious of any product, company, technology, whatever it is that comes out of China. So it's not that I would take that with a pinch of salt. I'm just saying that any website with cookies is also stealing your data. So maybe, Temu using your data to create targeted ads is not really that big of a deal. In general, it's not the type of company that seems to behave particularly ethically or with the best interests of either its customers or its users very well. Customers being us, users being the manufacturing companies that host their products on there.